welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a little walkthrough in our day. We are 3 days into our summer break, and yesterday I took the kids to the LA Zoo for the very first time. That was our first time going, and we've been to the San Diego Zoo several times. I've been to the San Diego Zoo a ton, and I love it. If you are in California, I would highly recommend the San Diego Zoo. It's amazing. The LA Zoo, though, was not as great. It was very beautiful, and actually it's kind of crazy because you're in LA, not far outside the city, and you don't even feel like you're close to LA when you're in the zoo. It was really beautiful. It was not that crowded, which I thought it would be, considering that most schools I think are on summer break already, but it was not that crowded. But they had so many empty exhibits. They had no elephants, they had no lions, no tigers, they had no gorillas. The coolest thing we saw was the chimpanzees, and they were so fun. We stood there forever and watched them. There were a lot out. There was a new baby that was in the exhibit, and that one was really fun. And the seals, they had seals with their trainers out there. I actually felt like I was at SeaWorld when I saw the seals. But other than that, it was really disappointing. I was really sad because it's an 1.5 hour drive for us. And so we drove an 1.5 hours there. We spent an 1.5 hours there. And we drove more than an 1.5 hours back home because we hit traffic coming back home. The positive out of it, though, was my husband works an hour from where we live, in between where we live and the zoo. And so on our way back, we actually did get to go have lunch with him on his lunch break at work. So that was the positive and a bonus for us to be able to do. But now we're in our 3rd day of summer, and I'm gonna get some stuff done around the house. I just have been cleaning out over the months, and me and my mom have been wanting to have a yard sale. We haven't done it yet, and I need some extra money for painting some walls. I need to paint my hall, I need to paint my bedroom, I need to paint my boys' room. Just some like little extra stuff that we don't really want to spend the money on right now. I'm going to try to put together a yard sale in the next couple of weeks, hopefully in 2 weeks, and be able to make a little bit of money to go buy some paint to paint some walls in my house. So that is the plan coming up here. With that being said, 2 of my kids just got new to us bunk beds, and they have desks built into them. They even have some drawers built into them. So that means I'm getting rid of their beds. I'm getting rid of their desks because they all have desks in their bedrooms. And I'm also getting rid of my son's dresser. And so I'll be putting those in the yard sale. But we've put the beds together, and now I have random furniture all over my house. In the hallway, I have bed frames leaning up against the wall, a box frame, and or a box spring rather. And so I need to find a place to hold all that until we have a yard sale. My house does not have any extra bedrooms, no spare space, no spare closets. My house actually it's not a small house. It's over 2,000 square feet, but this house has terrible closet space. Our bedroom closets are fine, but there's no linen closet. There's a coat closet by our front door. And so I'm very limited on where I can store stuff. And so my boys' room is where I'm going to be storing the yard sale stuff for the next 2 weeks. And it's going to drive me bonkers because I'm OCD with clutter, but I'll make it through.
I have searched many years.
So I get fresh eggs from my best friend. Her and her husband have so many chickens, and they give us fresh eggs. And in return, when I stay on top of it, I give her sourdough bread. And so this is how I wash my eggs. I put them in the sink. They have their own little scrubber. This scrubber is just for my eggs for washing.
This very hour, for your presence in here. In His name I find, in His name I find, in His name I find the peace I seek. In His name
And real quick, before I start on my kids' breakfast French toast, I need to make some sourdough sandwich bread. I did not feed my sourdough yesterday, so I only have sourdough discard. So I am going to make I'm gonna make a discard sourdough loaf from Farmhouse on Boone. I use all of her sourdough recipes for everything. I probably said that in a previous video, but I'm gonna mix that up real quick so that it can sit, and then I'll get to my kids' breakfast.
In His name I find the joy I seek. I have searched many years on end. There was none that my soul could depend. My soul cries out for your presence in here. This very hour, for your presence in here. In His name I find, in His name I find, in His name I find the peace I seek. In His name I find, in His name I find, in His name I find the joy.
So what I like to do with my dough a lot of the times to help it rise is stick it in my microwave, but you can heat up some water. So sometimes I'll stick water in a coffee mug and heat it up in the microwave to make it hot, and then leave it in the microwave with my dough, and it'll create some warmth in there if you don't already have a warm house. Or if my stovetop, if I'm like cooking and my stovetop is hot, I'll just stick my dough on top of my stovetop, like in the middle. Or another thing is you can always stick your dough in your oven with just the light bulb on, but my light bulb's out, so I can't do that. So we're gonna do the microwave.
Free from the chain that has bound me. In your presence I am calm, waiting for the kingdom come. In your presence I am free from the chain that has bound me. In your presence I am calm, waiting for the kingdom
I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but I have several times wanted to put cinnamon in something like French toast. And actually, I think I did it
In
first
His
time.
name
And realized that I grabbed my cumin out of
peace I seek. In His name I find, in His name I
I'll go ahead and feed my sourdough. And when I feed my sourdough starter, I know my jar looks kind of gross, but I actually just changed it out. There are two things I am very particular about when I feed my sourdough starter, and that is I only use spring water to feed it. And I also only use King Arthur's bread flour. Now I don't bake with this because it's darn expensive. I warmed that up a little bit, like 15 seconds. And I also only ever use a wood spoon. You guys, your breakfast is ready. Okay, you guys have to see my sunflower. She's just been opening up the last couple of days. But I had planted some sunflowers in this bed last year. I planted a few of them. We got 3. So I guess I'm more than a few. But we got 3 that bloomed. But the funny thing was is they got probably 2 feet tall, and their stems were not near as thick as this one, and it only had 1 flower head on each of them. That was it. Well, this year I didn't plant any. These are all wildflowers, even though they look like weeds, and we just did wildflowers this year. Well, I started to notice that a sunflower was coming out of the ground. This sunflower is probably 3.5, maybe almost 4 feet tall. It is massive. And the coolest thing about it is it has buds like everywhere. And it's amazing because it came from my sunflower from last year. My sunflowers from last year. The seeds had just fallen into the ground and it came up all on its own. And it is, I mean, 3 times the size. And I counted and there's like 15 flower heads on there, on this whole thing. And it is just so amazing. So it's made me really love sunflowers. I'll show you all my garden. This is my 3rd spring having a small garden. And I live in the desert, so if you're not familiar with the desert, this is what our yards look like. This is my front yard. We call this clean dirt. This is what we got. We ain't got grass. I do have a little bit of grass in the backyard, but I've got oleanders over there, and then we got some desert shrubs because we don't get rain, so we have to pay to water our grass, so we just keep the dirt and we just drag it with like a baseball dragger and it keeps it clean. Anyway, this is my garden bed. The first year I did a garden bed, and I know it looks really wussy. These are green beans, and I had 5 here, but I don't know if you can see, there's 2 barely standing. Something got to them. They did look as vibrant as the other 3, but I don't get rabbits and I don't have squirrels, and so I can't figure out, obviously we don't get deer here, so I can't figure out what got them except maybe birds, because I don't have a lot of critters. We do get gophers, but that's it. And then this is my only one tomato plant that has come out. The rest are very sad. I didn't get anything in them, and so I got 1 tomato plant. Right here, I actually have lavender seeds in there that I just planted. So we'll see what happens if those come up. And then here in this empty spot, I had cucumbers. I had 4 cucumber plants, and again, something got to them. I would come out in the morning to water, and another cucumber plant had bit the dust. So, and they looked like these. So something ate them out of there. I'm just not sure what. It really bummed me out. So that's why it looks empty. And then I'm really good at growing basil. I've grown basil every year for the last 3 years, and I have succeeded tremendously at basil. Last year I had a decent tomato plant, and I had 3 okra plants that did really good, but I didn't plant okra really because I forgot, honestly. I'm also really good at growing rosemary. This is a new rosemary plant, and it's little, but I have a big old rosemary plant over here. She's big. She's from last year. I planted her in the spring last year, and I love her. I need to plant more. I have mint, but this is from my mom's garden. I actually just pulled it out of, I have 2 mint plants. I pulled it out of her garden last week. It's hard to see for me, and replanted them on pots. So they're actually looking great. These beauties are creeping Virginias. This one is doing so well. I have one here. My neighbor, I actually got them from my neighbor. She has a ton of creeping Virginia that crawls over our fence. And so I went and dug some out because it's growing on my side of the fence. I dug a bunch out of the ground last spring. And these are all from last spring, actually. So succulents grow lovely because they don't need a lot of water. They do look a little brown right now. But our weather has been so funky because one day it'll be 85 degrees outside, and the next it'll be 50. So I think they're having a little bit of culture shock with the back and forth weather. But I started out with 4 aloe plants, and they multiply, if you didn't know that. And so I pull them out a lot, repot them, give them away. I have more up here. And so I have them everywhere. I really should just start an aloe farm. And these are just succulents. So I have this calla lily plant, as you can see. And I got it on clearance at Lowe's. And it was like pretty much dead. I think I paid like $3 for it. And it didn't really do much until this year. And it had no flower on it. I thought it was gonna be flowerless. And this year I have 3 lilies that have come up on it, and I had no idea there were still like flowers on it. So that is really exciting. And then I have these are Blue Angel hostas, and they're looking a little rough. Don't mind my messy rug right there. We get really bad winds, and so all the dirt and everything gets trapped right here, and I sweep it like every 2 to 3 days, and it just looks horrible. Anyway, I got these Blue Angel hostas, and they're shaded most of the day, but the little bit of sun they get crisps my leaves. So I don't know if they need to be in full shade. Again, wind just makes my patio so nasty. These are hydrangeas, and I have 3 of them. You can see they look really rough. I have one over there. These I bought on clearance at Aldi for $3 a piece. This one's actually not doing too bad. It looked a lot more rough, and but it has a new flower head on it. But I'm learning how to take care of them. I've obviously learned that they need to be in shade. They don't like the sun too much, and they need to stay hydrated, which watering them off is not an issue. I think they're getting plenty of water. They're just getting too much sun. But you saw my front yard with all the dirt, and my backyard is the same. We have no trees in our yard, except for these things. These are called Joshua trees. They're very rare, but these are the only trees I have in my yard. And they do not provide any shade, as you can see. I prefer plants that either multiply or perennials. I don't buy any annuals because I like to spend money one time and then be able to enjoy my plants year after year. And then if it's something that multiplies, like the creeping Virginias multiply, all of the succulents multiply. So if you don't know that, succulents multiply, and you can pull off the baby plants and replant them somewhere else. These little tree looking things, those are also succulents, and they multiplied out of my pot, so I planted those. So those are my preferred plants.
I've searched many years
Well, you guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me for the day. If you would please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up. That would be really awesome. I hope that you guys come back for my next video. Have a fantastic day.
I've searched many years on end. There was none that my soul could depend. My soul cries out for your presence in here. This very hour, for your presence in here. In His name I find, in His name I find, in His name I find the peace I seek. In His name I find, in His name I find, in His name I find the joy I seek. In your presence I am free from the chain that has bound me. In your presence I am calm, waiting for the kingdom come. In your presence I am free from the chain that has bound me.